We're going to discuss, guys, what's next for now former Rockets coach Mike D'Antoni after he notified the franchise he's not coming back. He gone. No more years in Houston. Does he have his sights set on that open job in Philadelphia? Stick around to hear the latest, because Houston, Mike D'Antoni informed the Rockets he is becoming a free agent, will not be back with the team next season, just completed the final year of his contract. Here's the statement that D'Antoni gave to ESPN yesterday, quote, "It is with tremendous sadness and gratitude that my wife Laurel and I announce our incredible journey in Houston has ended for now, and that we'll be moving on to a new chapter." Chiney, Houston native, is this what you were expecting?
I'm really conflicted, Rach and Brian, to be honest, because I'm like, is it possible in relationships to have like a mutual breakup? We always feel like one party is doing something right and one party's doing wrong, but this one really feels like that weird case of where it's mutual, because it sort of seemed like the relationship has reached its natural end, because at this point, I think it's bigger than coaching. We need to be introspective. I say we because you said it, I'm from Houston. We need to be introspective as a franchise. The common denominator, is it the coach or is it the players or is it a combination of both? And I think we all knew going into the season what the writing on the wall was. And especially when the playoffs, you have an early exit and you don't have that contract extended, you know what is going to likely happen. I just think it's more so like this is a franchise that has leaned all the way in on player movement, trying to swing big and sort of compete with the top through, risking it all by changing their players. And we've done the same when it comes to analytics. And analytics has really helped us compete so much, especially when it goes your way and you're knocking down so many threes and you have an amazing threat like James Harden. But I think we're at the point where we need to get back to a human element of basketball. Yes, we have the new age, the new analytics. Yes, we have top tier players, but also the most important thing about basketball is the human will to compete. And I think that will has been questioned. And sometimes it's like, okay, is the voice resonating in the players? Is it the right voice? Is it the right player? I think at this point it's a combination of everything. But I do like Coach D'Antoni sort of, taking a super classy route and saying, I acknowledge what's coming, also knowing that he has great suitors so that he can continue his career hopefully as well.
1 week ago, Daryl Morey said that it was an off-season priority to get Mike D'Antoni re-signed. Now, maybe that was just public relations and it's something that you don't want to have a different message out there during a playoff series, but Mike D'Antoni pulled the reversal here, because across sports, we've seen many times where coaches have been fired at the airport. Mike D'Antoni resigned at the airport. As soon as he got back to Houston, he put out this statement. He broke up with them before they could even think about breaking up with him. And I think it's because he knows that he can hold his head high and that he's going to have other opportunities. And frankly, I don't think it's a good look for the Houston Rockets. Even if change might be good, it doesn't make them look like they handled this well.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had a contract extension offer on the table last summer. So this didn't have to be his free agent year. And they ended up not coming to an agreement over it. And it really did seem, when you talked to him over the previous months and you talked to him about whether he was going to be around back in Houston next year, he wasn't that optimistic. I was not surprised to see this resignation tendered yesterday. And with D'Antoni moving on, right, you can now add Houston to this list of current head coaching vacancies. Woj is reporting, Brian, that D'Antoni is a candidate for the Sixers open job. Does that seem like a good potential fit to you?
It does. Number one, the Sixers need some help offensively to figure out how to get those guys to play together. Although it's the exact inverse of what he was having in Houston, go from the fastest, smallest team to the biggest, slowest team. He has connections there because he was an assistant coach under Brett Brown. And I think that the ownership in Philadelphia is interested in Mike D'Antoni. And the reason that that's important is because General Manager Elton Brand, as of now, only has 1 year left on his contract. Now, that could change. But if that's the case, then really the ownership is going to have a say in the hiring. And I think that bodes well for D'Antoni in Philly. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's a strong candidate there.
It's interesting you make the obvious point is that you're going from small, but we've even dubbed it micro ball, to like literally large players only, big boys only. And so if you're looking to maximize offense, then he's your guy. I just think also it's going to be interesting because you're leaving a situation where these guys are already, developed in Houston with James Harden and the plethora of shooters. And we all know Russ, we hope he improves, but we sort of know where his game stands realistically. Now you're going to a situation where now your task is to develop young stars, and also, most importantly, teach those young stars that they can't act bigger than the franchise because you haven't proven anything yet. So I think it works offensively. I'm interested to see how the players would respond to him. But I do think that they look at Houston and look at a team that has found some moderate success, and they could probably learn a lot if, the transition happens.
I'm fascinated about how this musical chairs is going to go this offseason. I don't remember this many coaching openings with teams that are good, right? You have coaching openings every year of teams that are kind of a disaster, and all they can think about to do is change the coach because, gee, we can't, attract free agents, or we only have so many draft picks. These are a lot of openings in cities with teams with a lot of talent. I think it is going to be fascinating to see who fills and who gets which job. And Brian, it's Daryl Morey's birthday today, so happy birthday to Daryl. And he is someone, of course, who you and I both like so much personally. But what do you think of his job security in Houston right now?
Well, the Houston Rockets for the last 3 years have gone downhill. 2 years ago, Chris Paul not getting hurt. Last year, eliminated in the second round against the Warriors. A great opponent, but Durant got hurt in that series. They couldn't take advantage of it. This year, they go all in with this roster, and they go out 4-1, and they've won fewer games each season. They're not trending in the right direction. So there's always going to be pressure on the general manager, whether it's his fault or not. And that's a situation that is developing in Houston.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, Daryl, enjoy your birthday. And we, of course, are going to continue previewing all that's to come in the Western Conference here on The Jump.